Hi, I'm Chad. In the fall of 2020, I bought this boat, a Columbia 10.7 called Semantis, for $750. We motored her south to her new home at Chipman Point Marina on Lake Champlain. She is now undergoing a complete refit in preparation to begin sailing the world. Good morning, guys. How are you today? This week we're working on the Macgregor V21. If you saw some of the videos a while back, I was rebuilding the keel. I've got the first layer of tiger's hair fiberglass filler over the cast iron core, and I'm going to finish that process and I'm going to get the profile shaped the way. Here's a couple of pieces of the original keel. So this .01 is the back, and this piece here is the front of the keel. So there's my profile. So I'm going to cut this profile out of this material right here. It's just birch plywood. It's nothing special. And I'm going to cut a full-size template, and then I'm going to cut a core template that I can slide over the keel. This is what I'm going to be doing the work on. I think I should be able to slide these through and get a nice profile, and then use that profile to build my template. And this is what I'm going to be doing. You can see it's rough on the edges here. This is the filler, the tiger's hair short fiber fiberglass body filler. So this is going to get sanded down, shaped, profiled. I'm going to work with the two templates that come out of this material right here to do the job. My goal today is to get the profile finished, to get the shape correct. Finish the body filler and finish the shape and get it perfect. Maybe I'll have time to get into the 1708 later in the week and get this keel covered. Before I start this project though, I want to show you my camera setup. You've seen my Canon M50 before. Now I'm experimenting with an external mic. Actually, I've got two of them. I got a lapel mic and I've got an external shotgun mic on top of the camera. I'm trying to get a little better sound quality. So let me show you how I have this set up. I'm shooting this one with my cell phone. I'm going to try to keep it as stable as possible. I'm sorry the light in here isn't great, and the cell phone camera doesn't really do it justice. But here we are, playing with a shotgun mic on top of the Canon M50, and I've got a different tripod. You guys let me know what you think of the sound quality. I've got that, and I've also got a lapel mic, depending on the situation. Just trying to step up the quality of the videos a little bit as I go here. I've been real busy lately with the two projects I'm working on. Semantis, also getting into this Macgregor 21 again, getting it ready to go back in the water. But yeah, I want to improve my content. I want to make things better and maybe a little more entertaining as things go on. Educational is kind of the aim of my channel here. Educational in travel. So this actual physical core measures 10 inches wide on this keel, the cast iron core. What I just did on the scroll saw is I cut these profiles. This is going to be the front profile, and this is the back profile right there. The distance from this point to this point is 10 inches. So now I know my length and I have the rough shape. And when I split these profiles in half, I ended up with a little bit of the other side as well, as you can see here. So I think I have enough information to get the shape of this keel. You can see here the buildup for the thickness of the material on the outside of the core. This tiger's hair fiberglass body filler. And you can also see the thickness of the fiberglass layup on the outside, which looks to be one layer of 1708. So the trick here with this is the cavity inside the hull of the boat is only so wide, and the keel actually goes up inside it. I got to make sure this is, if anything, a little bit too small. Too big, it won't fit in there like it needs to. Too small would be fine. But I got to make sure that when I build the thickness up on this with the filler, mostly in width, not so much in length, but with the filler and with the fiberglass cloth on the outside, the 1708, I got to make sure that it is less than the thickness of the hull. When I pulled this keel out, it was actually stuck in there a little bit because the rusting, water got into the core, the cast iron had some rust on it, and the rust and the water sort of opened it up and made it spread a little bit. So it was actually a little bit wedged in there, and it was tricky to get it to knock down out of there. Once it fell out, it was fine, but I actually had the cable backed off that lowers it, and the bolts loose, and the thing would not drop at all. So now I'm going to build my template. Full-size template finished with the glass. And then I'm going to knock the whole thing down a little bit smaller and make a second one that's a quarter undersized perhaps. To match the keel core material, the body filler, tiger's hair body filler profile. And I can sand and shape until it slides all the way over the whole length of the keel. And then when I go to lay my glass over the top, I'll have the room I need for the glass and the fairing and the gel coat.
Finally starting could go on for infinity. Color coded just to keep me sane. My world is finally starting to take shape. I press the button and it bursts into life. This time nothing will escape my sight. I see the stars and the planets soon follow. Expect to have the universe by tomorrow. Just sit back and relax, don't worry. The world can wait. No need to hurry.
Well, it fits perfect, guys. This is the aft end, the back of the keel, and the wider, rounder end. This is the front of the keel, and it fits absolutely perfectly. So this thing, it goes up into the boat like this. You get the slot that it fits into, and the back of it goes up and in. And then when you crank it down with the cable, it comes out like that. So you can see that it has a little bit of a taper to it. And so does the underside of the boat. When you get underneath the hull, the slot that this goes into, the cavity is tapered on the side. So it goes up until this touches. And then it slips right out just like that and drops right down. So this is perfect. We've got our exterior template. Alright, so let's make our next template now. Here's this one. We want this next one to be smaller. So I'm going to template this piece onto here. Also going to label. This is going to be finished profile. And then this profile inside here, I'm going to hold the pen just like this. There. And I'm going to label this. It'll be core profile. Alright, I got to remove this section. And I got to make it fit around that. Let's cut another one. Hey guys, I got that part done. Here's the keel. Here's my finished profile template. I showed you the core. And here's the slightly smaller core template right here. Okay, so now I get to do what about 90% of boat work is, sanding. And I want to show you this particular tool, Festool. It doesn't matter which one you get, there are two of them, the Rotex type. So this is the 125, it's a smaller one. But there's a couple reasons why this is the tool I like for even woodworking, all of my sanding jobs. I've refinished floors with this. I got so many hours on this thing, it's ridiculous. But there's a couple reasons why I like it. So first of all, if you look at the pad, these holes are closer to the edge than like a Makita or any other random orbit pad. The price is about the same. They're about $1 a pad. So because they're closer to the edge, more dust gets extracted. This particular one works with, I'll spin this around, this extractor right here. This guy, vacuum cleaner. You turn it on and it sucks all the dust out and puts it in there. There's very, very little dust left in the air. So for that reason, I really, really like these sanders. The other reason why I really like them is they've got 2 speeds. You're not going to be able to see this on here, but there's a series of dots. At least I don't think you're going to be able to see it. Let me try to focus this a little tighter. Yeah. See the dots? These finer dots, this is random orbit. This setting over here, if you push this over, that's basically locked in and just grind. So you can grind very aggressively with this, and then you just with the flip of a switch, you can swap it over and be finished sanding. The other option you have is there's a button here on the back of it. This locks the sander out. You can also change these pads. The whole head pops right off. I don't do it very often, but you can pop this whole head right off of here, and you can swap the whole head with the pad and everything. So if you're going back and forth from one size to the next frequently, you can pull the whole thing off, set your pad aside with a good sanding disc on it, grab another one, stick it on there, and step down to the next grit, and then go back again. Fiberglass isn't always really nice, and we don't really know what particular fiberglass they use to build these boats, especially when we're cutting into something old. I've built aircraft with fiberglass as well, and some of them are carcinogenic. Some of them you don't want to breathe in, and some of the finishing chemicals you don't want to breathe in. So being able to suck up the dust, yeah, this is expensive, this particular sander, but it's less than a new set of lungs. So I would recommend it. I don't even know what they cost now. I paid probably $500 for this years ago. So they do last pretty well. I'm sure they're a lot more than that now. But they work really well. They suck up a ton of dust. You basically get 2 for 1 because you get your random orbit and you get the grinder built into the same thing. I would definitely recommend it. So, yeah, keep it in mind when you get into this stuff. A lot of the chemicals and products that you're working with on boats, you don't want to breathe in. So the more of it you get sucked up into the extractor, the less of it you get in your lungs. And of course you can wear a respirator and stuff as well. It's not a bad idea. Okay. Well guys, been a long day, coming up on 9 o'clock tonight. I went through an entire second tub of tiger's hair body filler, and just want to take a few minutes and show you my process. I'm still going to need just a little bit more, probably a quart or 2 to finish this core here. But let me show you what I did and show you the process. If you have to try something like this, I can show you the way I did it, and hopefully it'll be helpful to you. So you can see the keel standing here. It came out pretty well. So before I had showed you the template. This is the finished size template. What I ended up doing is taking the other template and cutting it in half, like that actually. So that way I could lay it over the profile of the piece, like this, as I went along, make sure it fits. So I did the leading edge, which is on the bottom here. I built that profile first, got it squared and straightened. So basically what I did is I got this as close as I could by eye, and then I took this straight edge on the back side. It's not straight anymore, it's covered in body filler. But once I got this close, I applied a coat of the filler, about a 1/4 inch thick, and then I actually used this as a straight edge and pulled it over like that to create the profile. And I did that all the way along to get a nice straight, even profile, and then sanded and finished, and then went back after. You can see these little holes here. I went back after all those little holes and filled everything. And then I flipped it over and I did the profile on the back edge. So I was able to use this backside like this, and I was also able to now reference the leading edge of the keel, and I loaded this up with the tiger's hair, and I was able to slide this down the length of the keel like that to create this profile. And then once I had those two profiles, both sides, both directions, then I was able to just sand it and finish it. So that's how I established the shape of this keel. And it worked pretty good. I still have holes to fill. And I'm out. So I'm going to get one more, probably gallon, because I'm afraid this is going to take more than a quart. And if I buy 2 quarts, might as well buy a gallon. It's probably same cost, and I'll have some extra material for another time. And the only other thing that's left to do, I'm going to also have to put a little bit of a radius on here as well. Not a radius, but it's needs to be thickened in the middle, and that shows on the template. If you lay this in here, there's some air there. So I'll use it the same way. I'll add some material, and I will slide this down the length, and that'll create that profile, and then I'll sand that out. I may not show you the last bit of sanding. I don't know if it's necessary. I think I just explained what I did. I showed you how I made my templates with the scroll saw, and so hopefully that's enough information that if you need to do something like this, you can use what you have for templates and patterns and rebuild the keel. I think it worked pretty well. I'm pretty happy with it. So, but that's it. So I'll have a few hours probably finishing this core, and then next video I'll show you the glass, the fiberglass cloth that's going to cover the core. I want to thank those that have subscribed to my channel, or like, share, and comment on my videos. If you're new to my channel, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. It helps me to gain traction here on YouTube.